Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a 3v3 on the 38th parallel here for you today, and it's one hell of a game, pretty special game as well. We have two new players who were joining and we're just trying to make sense of the game, trying to have a good time, and sort of diluted into a larger game where they have allies to help them. So on my team, well, there's me of course, as well as the newly Sergeant Major Grim Reaper, and Darkside, who is a new player, a friend of mine from undergrad, and quite a nice fellow. As on the other team, we have I Hate Helos, Lowing, and Vimes, who are all somewhat veteran players, and we have Music Nerd 1023, who is a new player and will be sort of playing, I guess, mostly in this section. He has quite a large role later on in the game, so do keep an eye out for that. However, it was my hope that Darkside and Music Nerd would kind of run into each other over in Fox and Golf. But in the meantime, I was playing in the middle, just trying to be able to potentially support Dark if he needed it, and as well be able to help out my ally Grim. So Panzerkampfwagen Leopard 2 moving up to countercap in Bravo, and we have an MLU diving in after J78C, but not able to get the kill. So a little unfortunate there. My ally also moving up maybe a little bit too far, but some sparring with helicopters is never a bad thing, and my automatic is able to open up and get those kills. But right away we have Jägeri from Dark, just seeing a huge push coming in, so it looks like Vimes as well as Lowing are just teaming up on this side, which, yeah, it was a 3v4, we had more individual income, but two players means double the micro as well as an income advantage on that side against a new player by somewhat veteran players. So as soon as I spotted this, Dark and I are just talking, trying to figure out some way to get some help over there. I have Scout Infantry moving up in an MD Jupiter, and you can tell, I mean, this is just going to go real bad real quick. FJB trying to get up into that town, Moat shoots in BMP2s, there's even some paratroopers that were let off there, and really not the best sort of deployment here from Dark. So, I mean, in terms of this being his 5th game of Red Dragon ever, including 3 against the AI, this was pretty nice. But Jägeri, Panzerkitta, there should have been some more spread out over this side, probably a recon helicopter as well, just to get eyes on things a little bit sooner. And things are starting to die. So the STRVs taking ATGMs is not going to be a good thing at all. They are wonderful fire support, but they have to be alive to be fire support. We have Vimes moving up really unopposed over into the other town, and we have finally my bomber as well trying to come out here and just delay things as I save up the points to get infantry on the ground. So Draken 1's coming in and taking no fire at all, which is pretty nice, but let's see what sort of kills he can get, and not a ton, but we do weaken the Specialny, we weaken the SPWs and the FJB. So at this point, Grim and I are talking and just saying, okay, well, this side is pretty much on him. He's fighting against I Hate Helos over here in Delta, and doing kind of okay. We have secured the forward woods in Bravo as well, but this is always a tenuous hold, so we'll have to see if it can be maintained. Legion getting killed by a bombing run, pretty nice, and you can see Music just has a ton of stuff piled up in that town. So MiG-29 913S coming in, and I think he did kill bomber from Dark, so not a great thing for us there. And the infantry has been pretty much cleared out of that town, and that position surrendered to the Red 4 player. MiG-29 actually goes down to Dark's automatic, so nice use there, and now getting direct fire onto SPW-80s. Quite a good number of kills. This piece was definitely worth it, and if he was pushed up just a little bit more, we'll be able to get those helicopters, but a T-72S is there to answer, and the automatic is not retreated with the first shots taken, and because of that he does die. So we also have lost vision completely on that side of Foxtrot. My own Leopard 2A4 and SPZ Lukes are going, SPPZ Lukes are going to be moving up, trying to get some vision into this woods here and provide some backup fire for infantry coming in Fuchs Milans and Martyr 2s. Now this is, I guess it's a Landjut deck that was made for team games, so I don't have the most cheap spam like I usually do, which is kind of what makes my Blue Dragons deck go round, right? But Draken 1's taking a little bit of fire now. There's probably some specialist infantry there. We do get, I think, at least one kill, the FJB 40 down to single man, which is pretty nice, and the infantry and the Fuchs Milans were headed up to secure, anchor that side of the town, prevent them from moving up even further. The Lux is able to get some fire on SPW-80s, and it looks like the Red 4 team hasn't yet moved up into, well, all the way through Foxtrot. They're only they're only 2/3 of the way through. I mean, that's a silver lining for us at the moment, I guess. We're just going to put things on speed 2 for a minute because this is a really long game and take a broader overall look. So I Hate Helos is pushing into Delta, which could turn into a bad situation really quickly, as the entirety of my focus has gone away from Echo and away from Bravo and into Foxtrot to help out my ally. So that could be pretty problematic, but there's also a cluster bombing run that was really accurate, hit my Leopard 2A4, not enough to kill, but certainly enough to deny that advance. And now we have smoke coming in from my own mortars, the M125s, trying to block off this town, allow the Fuchs Milans and the Jaeger to move up, as well as Fallschirmjäger and the Dornier 205. So these guys were just because I figured, you know, let's just get some elite troops in there, maybe have them buzzsaw through anything that was left. And fortunately we were able to intercept Lowen's Motschützen a little bit before he could get them all the way to the end of the town, so the Panzergren fighting in there should be doing okay, but they are outnumbered and that will be a problem eventually. Nice reinforcements from Dark, a little bit danger forward with the Bell 204s, but I mean, he's not punished for it this time around, so if it works, I suppose. My own Leopard 2A4 is retreating back, and the Martyr 2s would be fire support, but holding in reserve because they can't fight against a Wilk. So not exactly great force there, and now Music is trying to move up a little bit. The Strezhets and Beryusas are visible. I don't think he's made his big push quite yet, but we'll see that when it comes in. And the F-16A MLU coming in to kill Flatcom Osa. Dangerous choice, not quite as good of a choice as a Steed plane for that sort of thing, but he got it. I'd wanted the Wilk, I came away with the Flatcom Osa, that's fine. Martyr 2's now advancing, and these guys are just trying to draw the enemy position out as I have a peace run coming in, and let's see, 1-2, Wilk goes down, and the Prom S is not enough to kill those Martyrs. So we are getting some good work here, but my infantry, the Panzergren, were killed, my Jaeger are being pushed back, and it looks like the little bit of a tight grip that Vimes and Lowing were able to get on that town early on is proving pretty disastrous. We haven't been able to capture Foxtrot, and because of that our enemy has been getting a +1. Now a +2 as they cap Echo for quite a while, so that's not exactly what you want. And I mean, nice use of Stremesses here from Music. He's a bit more veteran than Dark, but not by a ton. And Vimes FLA is able to scare off the MLU. Also, Seed coming in here, and this, I think I've already lost my automatic. No, my automatic's over here with the gun off, as all things should be. My ally and I don't have any radar AA on that side, so I am evacuating the KWS. Probably shouldn't have. I probably should have gone after that Seed plane, but you know, mistakes were made, and I was trying to do my best with a front that I wasn't super familiar with. MLU is sent out to get him, but swing and a miss there, and doesn't even manage to get the T-72S either, and is taking fire from something hidden in those woods. So I was pretty scared I was going to lose the MLU. They're very valuable planes. Don't want to lose them like that at all. My Jaeger are killed, the Fallschirmjäger are engaging, but very much outnumbered here by 5 units of Motschützen. Peace Run comes in, and we do get a nice kill on another tank there, so that's at least worthwhile. And a Draken 1's coming in to provide some fire support, well, bombing support for the Motschützen. Damaged but not taken out by the FLA, and a second bombing run coming in as well, enough to obliterate those Motschützen and potentially allow us to push back just a little bit. Over on the right hand side, Grim for right now does have this locked down, but the Feebow coming in is pretty deadly, and the J7Cs are going to add up eventually. Stoottroopin maybe pushing a bit too much here. I mean, here's the thing. If you're looking at this from the perspective of Grim, right, his allies are struggling, we haven't been able to secure Foxtrot, our opponents have gotten a +1 while Echo is not capped. I've just called out a command vehicle to do that, and he needs to either win or we lose, right? So he was very much trying to push through to get into India or to get eyes on the back end of Bravo to stop that counter cap and be able to help and potentially save this team. In the meantime, Fallschirmjäger have moved up. I also have my Fuchs Milans moving over to get some sort of fire here, but a couple of Sokols will cause some trouble if I don't have an answer, and the automatic is providing nice fire support in the center, but is going to be moving over trying to get rid of those helicopters as they are presenting a problem and shooting my Fallschirmjäger. I was very upset by this. They did such good work for such a long time, and then rocket pods, just absolutely brutal. But Fuchs Milan getting eyes on a Flotcom Osa, probably called in reinforcements then forgotten about, so that should never have happened. But I won't argue, that's about a 60-65 point kill. T-72M2 Moderna is spotted, and that looked like a nice target for ATGMs in a Peace Rhine, but my Peace Rhine I think was on cooldown. Draken 1's coming in, and I expected to lose at least one. Oh, there's the Peace Rhine. And yeah, we do lose a Draken 1's. I was hoping to kill some of those FLA SFLs. I mean, 85 points, they're gun AA, but in large numbers they can definitely get the job done with guaranteed chip damage. Fostermaker's still alive somehow and actually taking out the MI-24D. Pleasant surprise, but Moderna chews through my Fuchs. My Leopard 2A4 is back, but can't go up against Moderna, and so he's been pretty useless this whole game. Now I think we have the move in the center from Music. Might be MI2 is moving up. Don't quite remember. Automatic makes short work of that, of course, so that's not going to be an issue. And now I have a PH2 Tiger coming in to try and tidy things up here. More smoke going in as we have lost the town on the right yet again, so just sustained infantry from the Red 4 team over in that direction. And a bit of a dive here from Grim, trying to get that Su-27SK, but kerosene leak and evac order. Better lucky than good sometimes, but you can see his advance into Delta has been stopped, which against a player like Helos, that is going to be a problem later on, because it probably means it was stopped well, and Helos probably has the advantage over on that front. We are behind 186 points to 0, so not exactly ideal. Leopard 2A4 is going to be sparring with the Moderna, but I was still ineffective at that range and taking a bit of fire, so he's going to be retreating. And here comes the Peace Rhine, trying to get something done, and 1 missile, 2 missile, got a hit, but not a kill. Very nearly a kill, but Peace Rhine goes down, and this is going to be a problem. So now Vimes and Lowing working together have a couple of tanks moving up. There's also Radar AA, and I don't really have a good answer. My Martyr 2s aren't enough to take that down. I don't have enough ATGMs on that side. It's going to be a problem. Now, Lowing's tank play is always a little bit assertive, but here it did get him pretty far, so both of those Martyr 2s go down, and they're very expensive pieces. Here we are. So BMPT is moving up from Music, getting shot at from the Fuchs Milans, but able to hide at the last second, which was kind of infuriating at the time. Cluster already did, of course, come in, but it will panic infantry, it won't do anything else. So that was honestly fine. They'll calm down pretty quick if they're not damaged. And this crossfire is absolutely brutal. Leopard 2's opening up, BMPTs and BTR-90s won't be able to handle that. Fuchs Milan's also opening up, and we should be able to get some nice kills there. And when they get a little bit closer, the Panzergren should be able to do something, and the Parmelons on this side will be able to get some nice fire, in addition to the Martyr 2s that I had in order to deny these BTR 80s and 90s transports. Also a little bit of motion from Grim, getting his own Martyr 2s up and forward, and Music is having a bit of a hard time. Those Shermesses are very fragile, but I mean, hey, glass cannons sometimes do good work. The Upper 2A5 not able to kill those to save those Martyrs. But, you know, Block 15 coming in, and down goes that really heavy tank, so that should be worth something at least. In the meantime, Seaplane coming in again. PH Tiger has been refueled and refit, and is headed back up to the front line here. And we have finally secured Foxtrot, which actually gives us a +1 for right now until Echo is resecured. So, well, my Leopard 2 was spotted. He opened up his main gun to try and support against that push, so I had to relocate him in order to counter cap. But, you know, we're getting a +1 right now, which means all is not yet lost. Well, at least maybe not yet lost. And you can see, I mean, this is getting a bit desperate for Vimes and Lowing. We've been getting some pretty nice kills at good cost here, but again, they have more income. Well, no, 2 of us against 2 of them, we have more income because we have more per person as well. But you know, Grim has given up on pushing at this point and is just trying to resupply. Persistent bombing runs coming in. You can see the effect of those bombing runs and artillery on the units left in town. So Deckungsgruppe, KCT, Power Milan, very much not able to hold against a dedicated infantry push at this moment. Just kind of lucky that one hasn't yet arrived. So, of course, Helos is dealing with pretty low income, so you know, it'll take a little while for things to get rolling. Big push coming in from Vimes here. He's trying to clear out this other town as well. Storm Engineer are suffering for it, but LHV, I mean, there's a time and a place for militia, right? And they're eating lots of shots as STRFs get forward to try and take out that fire support. And this is actually turning out pretty well for us. So Mochutsun dying in the towns, Mochutsun not being able to get up there. Probably should have been smoked to cover that advance. Probably would have saved quite a lot of lives for the Redford team. Not that that's exactly what I want to have happen, but would have been good nonetheless. And Grim is helping out a lot on this side now. So there's a Tiger, there's a double stack of Leopard 2s, there's a Tornado, there's an MLU, and I kind of wish I said during the game, hey, we got this. I wasn't quite sure that we had it at the time, so I thought being able to get rid of this advance might allow Grim to keep holding on the right-hand side and for us to be able to claw this game back with that nice +1 ticking, but I think this ended up being a bit too much of an investment. Also, a couple of planes lost without real reason on that side, just going a little bit too far in, so planes are very, very expensive, capable, but expensive tools. Draken 1's coming in again for another bombing run and able to take out a bit of infantry there and just get out in time. KWS diving in really far, but does get his kill. Kerosene leak, and let's see if he can get out. Maybe. Yep, he does. So pretty nice, and the Draken 1's coming in to punish the anti-air that was spotted and identified, shooting at my other plane. In the meantime, this push from Vimes has definitely turned. The T-72S isn't going to be enough to save that on his own, particularly when fire's coming in from Foots Milans that he won't want to take for very long. Not a lot of damage per shot, yeah, but it'll add up. And the Motostrelchi here from Lowing are being pushed back by Panzergren and Fallschirmjäger, supported by Martyr 2s. So we finally might have reestablished control here. And I say might because that wood line is brutal to defend against. However, Bravo is pretty light. There's a Leopard for canning, but there's no anti-air here. Sturm S moving up from music is going to be a problem. And Flak Panzer Gepard A2 is being called in, that's pretty nice, but more artillery is coming in, and Grimm's infantry is just taking it on the chin. Deckensgruppe nearly killed in a couple different locations. Probably should have been some resupply trucks there to heal them up, but alas, no such luck. Tornadoes with ECR coming in, Peace Shrine coming in as well, trying to get the T-72, but only one hit there, which is a little bit unfortunate, and actually taking fire from a DHS Mi-24P. Really capable helicopter. Hasn't really seen much use. It's kind of been sitting there for quite a while, but this guy is quite a nice helo. 10 strength, 95 points, but look at that. 4 Kokon Ms and 4 Molnia air-to-air missiles. That's 26-25 meter range, or what, 2650? Yeah, 26-25 meter range is about the best you can ask for. Sure enough, that woods has been resecured. I was kind of ignoring music a bit more than I should have at this point. He hadn't really done all that much other than the one failed push. I figured maybe he wouldn't. Now we start to see some movement from helos and answering bombing runs, but that's not going to be enough to get all the kills that are needed. Fire support also just providing brutal work here against Grimm's infantry, who are doing their best to hold in Delta, doing their best to keep helos out of this zone, which if we lose Delta, we lose the game. So that was very much apparent at that point in time. Fallschirmjäger now moving up, supported by Panzergren, and the Conquerors team and Mochutsun moving back there are going to be having a hard time. I actually manually target here in a second because I thought I did anyway. Let's see. I wanted that Conquerors team dead. It's high-value targets, and no, it looks like they might live. Fallschirmjäger not able to get that kill, but moving across, and now we might be able. No, FJP9. Jeez. Yeah, there was so much infantry in these sections. The whole game, it was crazy. But H&K G11s are beautiful, IMG3s are beautiful, and that FJB unit does not have a tertiary that you can use for infantry to infantry fighting. Smoke coming in as well, trying to deny fire support to my opponents here, so just lots of smoke covering that woods, trying to isolate the FJB and these Mochutsun and make this into a better engagement. However, Grim is really now taking it on the chin. All of his Deckensgruppe have been killed. Stuttruppen are providing the last little bit of defense here, but his ESD-9 sort of just testing the waters and getting up close to that Parmelan team, maybe even taking him out. Zanshi moving forward as well. Block 15 does get the kill there, but it's actually 2, so PTZ goes down as well. Very nice work from the Block 15, but a couple missiles going in, and he does not make it out. So unfortunately that jet just plummeting down to the earth there. I always do like watching that, even though it is a little bit tragic, and Delta is in trouble. So let's speed things up to 2 again. Such a long game, still 17 minutes left, and most of it, if not all of it, was in fact played out. we're still ticking at a +1, even though the danger in Delta is very high. Almost able to recover, so about 114, 115 points to 186. More smoke coming in, trying to block off these woods, and it's proving decently effective. So the Jaeger are, well, not Jaeger, but the STRF 9040 are pounding incoming moat shoots and killing some, panicking others, getting some stuns even, which is very nice, and my Panzergren were able to take these guys on one-on-one. Draken 1's also coming in. I was hoping to knock off that, to deny that anti-air fire, but they're shooting through the smoke somehow, which was just obnoxious, and my bombing run was not enough to get them completely out of the way, as my Panzergren do unfortunately die. It's just sheer amounts of moat-shoots. And Fallschirmjäger were retreated earlier on and are attempting to be healed by some Jupiters, just trying to save that high-value infantry, and now Tanker Xiaoxiao and Zhanxi have chewed through Stuttruppen. Now there's a ZSD 90 moving all the way up, getting into a Hawk Hios. Not exactly what you want, and the PWIs are going to have to try to intercept. Yeah, I mean, this is where things start to just go from bad to worse. As we can see, music, just, I mean, this is the definition of he saved up everything all game. Look at that. How many ATGMs? It was at least 10, maybe even 14 ATGMs all at once off of just all of these, I guess, transports, the BMD-2s. I don't even know it was shooting all of those. That was just insane. Leopard 2 from Grim will be opening up, but it won't be enough to take down the sheer amount of stuff here, and it is going to be retreated. My Milan teams are going to have a field day, but they're shooting into cheap Urals, and I think that was, yeah, so Grim's just like, shit. So our opponents were playing a little bit with some hands behind their back here, as music pretty much the whole game was just preparing for this. But I mean, it works, right? Like, we didn't have enough stuff here to deal with it. A Tornado 1DS is coming in, and that bombing run will be helpful, but I mean, BMD-2s are still largely alive. There's 3 of them here, there's more tanks behind, and okay, so that's a pretty effective kill rate. Tornado ECR does get a nice snipe there in the back line as well, so it's not like any of this is for free, and music's certainly taking it on the chin for his trouble. But it's enough, right? Because Grim has been unable to resecure this part of Delta. Bombing run coming in does uncap it, and now we're back to our opponents getting a +1. My own push in the meantime in the western woods here of Foxtrot is going to be enough to finally push Vimes and Lowing out. Automatic killed by a seaplane, because, I mean, just sometimes life is rough. But Leopard 2A5 engaging with some Wilks. We also have Fallschirmjäger finally being healed here, and I mean, Fox is held, but it's too little too late, and that early advantage from Vimes and Lowing has just been completely clutch here for allowing the Red 14 to get this victory. So well played for them. I think both of those did completely make the difference. My own MLU just circling, getting shot after shot after shot, but the Leopard 2 has to retreat, trying to stay alive here. BMPTs won't be able to kill him quickly, but look at this, just infantry, VDV, Motostrelki, BMD-2s, all of this. Smoke coming in as well from Grim, so very nice cooperation there, trying to hide that Leopard 2 and deny my opponent some cheap kills. My Milan teams have run completely out of ammunition. Martyr 2s are not going to be enough to hold this off on their own, and that is certainly going to be a problem. Another CV, a Fuchs Milan coming in from Grim. We're bleeding at a +2 now, well, at a -2 now to our opponents, and it makes me think, well, we have to maybe push into Gulf. Maybe there's not that much there. It might be just this desperation play that might be able to get something done. But we need something, and we need to also recap Bravo, so the Leopard 2 is moving up. You can tell that music is a bit of a newer player as well, because, yeah, there was a ton of stuff here, but it went the wrong way. That infantry should have been pushing into this town, engaging with Panzergren, engaging with Parmelans, overwhelming numbers to secure the center town area, where direct fire support vehicles and tanks wouldn't be able to change that tide. So in the meantime, a single man of the Stuttruppen left for Grim, a couple of transports over in Delta as well, but J7H bombers coming in from IK Helos. We are able to take a couple down, Flak Panzer Gepard 2 getting some good work, Automatic getting some good work as well, and a couple planes go down, Martyr 2s and Jaeger advancing into Gulf, but they're advancing blind, right? So I had no idea where the command vehicle was. Turns out it was back here, which, you know, makes sense. Easily defended. But Dino 1s are coming back. There's now bombing runs as well, trying to intercept, and reinforcements coming in from the Red 14 toward Juliet. Tornado ECR coming in, but not able to get anything. Fortunately not getting shot either, so I mean, if it works, right? But it's just, I think this is just a description of that early game mess, and the sheer amount of time that it took to recover from it really did make the difference. So just because this has gone pretty long, and I think most of the really interesting stuff is now gone by the wayside, I'm going to call it here just for the interest of time. I don't really like making, full 40-minute long videos for you guys. I tend to find nobody's still around at this point, or at least very few people are. So just let me know what you think about that. I may do highlights or something later on, but the long and short of it is we weren't able to recover Bravo or Delta, and that ended up being the straw that broke the camel's back. So thank you to Grim and Dark for the excellent teamwork, and thank you as well for the good game to my opponents. I hope that Dark and Music do hang around and play with us some more and really learn the game a bit better, and continue to have these nice, fun, big team games. So with all that out of the way, that's all we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.